that's cool.
before we get into your book and everything, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. I wonder where your passion for music came from that led you on this 30 plus music career of your band Nova Rex. Was a certain album you heard, a live performance, something that was naturally for you as a child? Was a certain
I
album
would
inspired
say, well, first of all, just to play in a rock and roll band, it was all because of girls.
you?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's the honest of it. But
Yeah.
no, I actually I got to interview one of my idols about a month ago, Rudy Sarzo, bass player, Quiet Riot, Whitesnake, and Ozzy.
Mhm.
And I told him the story that I remember being 1982, sitting in some dingy old basement in Indiana, where I'm from, and I was in some weird dude's house with the black lights and everything. But the guy had satellite, right? Not everybody had satellite in MTV in 1982,
Mhm.
and I got to see the Ozzy Osbourne concert with Rudy. Brad Gillis was on guitar. Tommy Aldridge on. But anyways, it changed my life. I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
I looked at those guys like they were superheroes.
Mhm.
I mean, that was the modern day superhero for me. Not Marvel comics, not Iron Man, but Ozzy.
No, I'm the same way, man. I didn't have cable growing up, but then I remember seeing Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit '91, and just changed my life. You
Well, there
know?
you go. That's the same thing. And it just the passion for
Yeah,
music.
at my friend's house, I was like, "What is this?" You know, I
Right.
didn't know it.
Well, it just music touched people's lives.
Oh yeah,
The thing about music, unfortunately, they've been taking it out of schools and everything else, but people don't understand. Well, especially now with everything that's going on, none of these
Mhm.
bands are on the road now, and I don't know how soon it's going to be till we get back on the road. So people are going to
Yeah.
understand what it is to miss music.
I miss concerts a lot. I feel bad not only for the bands, but there's also the roadies, the people that work in the venues, the bartenders, like
All that, and some of these
yeah.
bars are not going to reopen, the smaller bars. And then
Hmm.
as far as festivals, we don't even know where that's at yet.
Yeah.
And the thing about music is that it's not about it's hard to get airplay anymore, because basically one radio conglomerate owns everything.
Yeah.
And if you're not in that clique, so and I seen another report last week where vinyl outsold CDs. And
That's crazy.
it's not because vinyl's doing better.
Yeah.
It's because CDs are that bad. Nobody buys them anymore. It's all uploads.
Yeah.
So you've taken out radio airplay. You've taken out CD sales, album sales, right?
Hmm.
What's left? Touring. And now we're stuck without that. So I,
Yeah.
I
It's a
don't know what
bummer.
the future holds.
Before we get into your book, because you talked about your passion for music came from MTV. What was it like seeing your band play on Headbangers Ball back in the day? I mean, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was kind of a one and done. They did what did they do back then? It was like they had a competition where they put up two videos against each other.
Uh-huh.
So we got smoked, but yeah, it was totally awesome.
Still, it's so amazing though. I mean, I love that watching that show.
Yeah. No, it's all good, man.
Very
And like I
cool.
said,
So let's get into your new
20,
book.
2020 is our 35th anniversary.
Wow, that is
Wow.
amazing. I mean, most bands don't even last that long. So
I know, man. I'm committed at this point. But
yeah.
what's really wild is that I come from the '80s metal scene, right?
Yeah.
Your Whitesnake, your Motley Crue, and all that, right? Def
Mhm.
Leppard, Bon Jovi. But now all that stuff is classic rock.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny because I got into that scene later because I mean I was a teenager in the '90s, so like the grunge was
Right.
my thing. But then like
Right.
later on, I was like, oh wow, this whole hair metal thing from the '80s was really cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
now both of those are now considered classic rock. It's really weird.
Well, for me, it's totally weird when I'm listening to Bon Jovi on classic rock when it used to be Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
Right? And now Black Sabbath, but now it's Bon Jovi, Def Leppard.
Well, cool, man. Well, speaking of, you got Rockin Recipes for Autism. The book,
Yes.
your son has Asperger's, which I actually know what it is thanks to the TV show Parenthood,
Right.
which is a form of autism. So you have your own radio show that you've interviewed different bands, and a lot of them give you these cook recipes. And so you
Yeah.
put together this book to benefit Rockin for Autism. Explain how this got put together.
Yeah, what happened was I was doing a radio show and I had the story was this. I actually went to New Orleans. I like going there. I try to get there once a year.
Mhm.
I went there, and after you go there and you eat the food there, if you like it or not, it still takes you about a week to recover because you can't get that kind of food, in your backyard, right? I mean, where are you going to go to Olive Garden? So after I did that, I was interviewing somebody and I was talking about how I just came back from New Orleans, and they're like, "Oh, I'm from New Orleans. My parents are from New Orleans. Their grandparents are from New Orleans. I got this recipe, jambalaya recipe that's like 100 years old from New Orleans." So he sent it to me, and then it kind of became a thing. So I started collecting them, and then after I had about 20 or 30 recipes from just buddies, then I found this charity called We Rock for Autism. It's a 501c out of South Florida, and they do music therapy for kids on the spectrum, which is completely in the wheelhouse, completely what I do. And I was like, so then after I had the charity, then because I'm not the charity, I'm just the book. So I had 20 some recipes, I had the charity, then it kind of was just a no brainer at that point. So I just reached out to the rock and roll community. A lot of these guys I've been on the road with over the years. I mean, I can count more bands I haven't played with than who I've played with. And just reached out to buds. I didn't call any managers, lawyers, labels. And yeah, so, and then and what's really wild is that the majority of these guys are cooks. You know, you think about,
yeah, most of them just live off, you know, people ordering food, you know, people working for them.
But yeah, so basically what it ended up being is I started off with 80 recipes, but we ended up putting it down to 57. It's 127 pages, hardback, full glossy. I got members of Ozzy, Whitesnake, Quiet Riot, Stone Sour Warrant, Poison, Evanescence, Toto, Dawkins, etc. Plus a bunch of other guys. And yeah, it was just that it was funny to find out that most of these guys were chefs. I'll show you a couple of photos out of the book. Like for instance, here's one with Frankie Benelli. God bless him. He just passed away from Quiet Riot. Yeah. He did ravioli, pumpkin ravioli. But yeah, no, just a lot of different guys. I reached out to Steve Lukather from Toto, and he actually has a son that has autism. So that was kind of an easy one to go. But yeah, just guys that I basically said, you know, like, what's that movie, Rockstar? I had these posters on my walls, you know, these guys. So yeah,
that's so cool, man. And I love that, but the charity does music therapy for people with autism, which is something, you know, music therapy has helped me a lot with my depression in the past, you know.
Exactly, helps a lot of people's depression. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why I'm a little bit worried about the scene now, you know, because there's not really any music. So how long do we hold on? But
I know.
No, it was just a great passion thing. I mean, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, the most expensive thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding. And like I said, they just have little personal stories of each one. Here's Ricky Rocket from Poison with his black.
Oh yeah. I've got to interview him before. That was so amazing.
Yeah. Roy from Stone Sour. You know, just different guys.
Great.
But yeah, like I said, a lot of them I just reached out, and like I said, majority of them were cooks.
And now this is volume 1. Are you planning to maybe do a volume 2 at some point, or?
Well, what happened was I have more recipes than I could put in the book. So I've already got to start on the next one. And again, I don't think it's ever been done before. I've never seen anything like that. A Rockstar written cookbook for a charity. And they say like 1 in 54 people in America have some form of autism. So it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. A lot of people don't know how to handle these kids. They're smart kids. And I just thought I'd put something out that hasn't been done. And the other thing is too about the cookbook, it's really a 3-parter, because say you happen to be a Poison fan and you want to know what Ricky Rocket cooks, you get the book. Say you happen to be Martha Stewart, Rachel Ray, Paula Dean, you know, you like cookbooks. My girl's got cookbooks she's had for 20 years. They don't expire. The recipes are always good. It's not like an album where you play it this week and then next week they're like, what's your new song, right?
Yeah.
That want to support autism. Again, a lot of people have family members, and yeah, just a good way to get it out there.
Very cool. And you also have a radio show on Florida Man Radio. It's weekday 7 to 8 with Real Talk with G Love and Kenny the Rocker.
Yeah, I got stuff with that.
Cool, man. And if you don't live in Orlando, Florida, you can actually listen to it online. There's a YouTube channel that has all the old episodes on it. Talk about how that got put together. That's cool.
Well, you know, I'm always out doing press like yourself. And I happened to go do an interview a couple of years ago with Glenda. We call her G Love. She was actually on iHeartRadio for a little bit. It's like some kind of sex show she had. So I went and interviewed with her, and I'm like, hey, I got a pretty good Rolodex of some buddies, obviously. I'll come in on Mondays and I'll do a segment where we just interview rockers, right? Well, after I did that for about a year, there's a new station in town. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary called Florida Man Radio. It's part of JVC Broadcasting. You might know some of the guys like Bubba the Love Sponge is the morning guy.
Yeah.
Shannon Burke around. We follow Shannon Burke. And so they just picked us up, and we're 9 months into it, which actually kept my sanity, because I'm kind of the Paul Schaefer over there, as far as I thought I'd be able to get off Thursday, Friday, go on the road, take a week off. But since nothing's been happening, I've been in the studio every night. And we've interviewed great people. Again, Rudy Sarzo, Brad Gillis, Kenny Aronoff, interviewed Jack Russell from Great White last week. So just great to hear these stories from these guys.
Very cool. So yeah, I've mentioned before we started, I just moved from the LA area to Orlando. I mean, obviously there's no venues open right now, but what are the fun music venues here in Orlando besides House of Blues I know about?
House of Blues is good. Obviously, if you can get the bigger bands, the Hard Rock is still good.
Okay.
That's massive. I can't remember what it holds, 6,000 or 7,000, I think.
Nice.
So, but the Plaza Live's another one that has good bands that come in.
I saw you played the Ace Cafe, I guess, with Warren.
I did that last October, I think it was. Yeah. So they bring in bands once in a while. I mean, for me, there's some more venues in Tampa, Jacksonville, Daytona than there is really in Orlando.
Okay.
I mean, as far as just bigger venues, that you can have fun. But my band over the years, we've kept alive by playing a lot of biker events, Sturgis, Panama City, Daytona, those kind of things. So about 50% of our schedule is bike events, and then the other 50% is probably festivals mixed in with a few club dates and stuff.
Very cool, man. Well, hopefully one day music will come back and I'll be able to enjoy concerts again. So.
Well, I'm hoping, man. I mean, first of the year, right? So
yeah,
keep your fingers crossed. But in the meantime,
yes,
when you can't see these rockers play now, you can see what they cook for a living.
Exactly.
Rockin Recipes for Autism.com. I had to throw that shameless plug out there.
Oh, no, I was going to ask website, social media links for the book and for yourself. So.
Well, for the band, just go Novarex, 35 years, just Google it. As far as the radio station, you can go to Florida Man Radio. They have a listen live. You can download the Florida Man Radio app. You can also say, Alexa, play Florida Man Radio. Or if you're in the Central Florida area, just 105.5 FM. And as far as the book, Rockin without a G, Rockin Recipes for Autism.com. If you go there, a couple of cool things have happened. Like I made Rachel Ray magazine, and for a rocker, that's kind of odd. I never thought about that. Never was in my wheelhouse. I did Autistic Parenting magazine, a few rock things, a few TV.
You've been on local TV shows here in Tampa.
Yeah. So a lot of that can be tracked down. But if you go to Rockin without a G, Rockin Recipes for Autism.com, everything I think you need to know is there. There's some flip pages, how to buy the book. The book is really inexpensive. It's 127 pages, full glossy, almost a 2-pound book. It sells for $29.95, and the proceeds go to We Rock for Autism, which is great time for the holidays.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, man. And I hope we see you in concert someday, man.
Yeah, especially you being in the Orlando area. We'll have to reach out. Just follow us on Facebook, and yeah, man, and let me know when this comes out. And I appreciate you doing what you do, man, keeping music alive.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, man. We'll talk that soon, all right?
Thanks, bro.
Later.